Hi everybody, how are you today? And welcome back to the series Being a Montessori Parent. The month of May is considered to be the mental health month, so I thought it would be appropriate to talk about your child and their mental well-being in this video. Before I begin, I would like to summarize my understanding of what the role of a parent is. So I believe that we as parents have to remove the obstacles that arise in our child's life periodically and create environments and provide opportunities which the child can use, explore and unfold his inner potential. When the child has mental well-being, the unfolding happens to the fullest and it happens easily with joy. So that is one aspect of why mental health is so important in children. The other thing is, in the Montessori philosophy, we talk a lot about responsibility. So when we set up Montessori environments, the final goal for us is to hand over all the responsibilities of the development of the child to the child. So by the time the child is an adult, they are able to make decisions and lead their life in ways that they can live harmoniously. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how we can plant seeds of mental well-being in our children. Let's picturize a garden in our mind's eye. So a garden is a place which has a lot of flowers that make it look very beautiful. But along with the flowers, there are some things which grow, and that is weeds. And obviously we don't want the weeds if we want our garden to look good. So using this analogy, let us see what we need to do to make the garden of our child's mind beautiful. To begin with, we need to start encouraging an awareness of the feelings that they have. So whenever a feeling arises, shutting it down or denying it is not going to help the child, but accepting that it is there, talking about it. The most important thing is talking about it. We are so happy to talk about feelings which make us feel good, but there are feelings which don't make us feel so good and we don't want to talk about them. We think it will be gone on its own, but talking about these feelings is very important. Once the child has got an awareness of that feeling, they start knowing when they feel it the next time. Oh, I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling happy. The child is aware. And the sad and happy are named, so we call it as labeling. And it's important to label the feeling only because for them to know the next time they feel it, this is what's happening to me. So awareness of the feeling and then naming the feeling. Once these feelings are identified, then it becomes important that we classify them. So classify them into what? Keeping the garden in mind, I would classify them into flowering feelings and weed feelings. So obviously in our garden of mind, if we want it to look beautiful, we want more flowering feelings and we don't want any weed feelings. But the weed feelings are not going to stop coming. They are going to come, but we need to know when to stop it and pull it out. So it becomes very important for us as parents to teach the children to first identify the flowering feelings, then water them, take care of those feelings so that those flowers grow in our mind, and identify the weed feelings that crop up from time to time, and how do we remove it from our mind. So how do we remove it from our mind? It is a belief that anything grows only when energy flows to it. So if you're going to give energy to the flowers, then they will bloom. And if you give energy to the weeds, then they will grow. So if you stop giving energy or thought or attention to the weeds or the feelings that are weed feelings, then they would stop appearing, or even if they appear, they don't grasp the whole life of the child, or they don't engulf the child's life such that the child cannot unfold. So flowering feelings make people open and the weed feelings make them close. So it's easy or good to give children this analogy which they can make in their own lives and say, okay, this feeling that I'm having right now, I don't know what it is, but it's not making me feel like a flower. So it's a weed feeling. Or I'm having this feeling and it's making me really smile like a flower. So that's a flowering feeling. So getting this analogy is very important in the child's life. Once the child is aware of the feelings that he's having and he has labeled them, that is giving it a name, it's also important for us to make it very clear that these feelings are generated inside him and or her, and they are creating these feelings. This is an awareness even many adults don't have, and we keep blaming situations and other people for the feelings that we are having. But when we start taking responsibility that I am creating these feelings, it makes it very easy for us to deal with the feelings and have a garden which has flowers and very less weeds. Now, just like in a garden, the whole source, what is the source of energy for this garden? It is the sunlight. Similarly, your child's mind garden has a very huge source, and that is you, the connection with you as a parent. You are the watering hole for this child who seeks or comes for guidance or looks up to you for role modeling, or even just feels comfortable to do whatever that they are doing. So this source, that is the connection that they have with the adult in their lives, is extremely important for the mental well-being. Now, just like in any garden, the soil is also very important next to the sunlight. Now, this soil, the richer the soil, the better the plants grow. The soil for this mind garden works on similar grounds. So to make it enriched, they usually add fertilizers in the garden. Similarly, we need to have some fertilizers in our mind garden so that these flowers can bloom. And what are these fertilizers? So there are many fertilizers, of which some of them are very important. The first one is self-love and self-forgiveness. Even the Buddha has said that the person that you need to really love and forgive is yourself. So this is something that's extremely important. And how can we as parents bring it? So we can show them the best version of themselves by appreciating, encouraging, giving positive feedback. See, when we say appreciate, it doesn't mean that we can't tell them something that's not done properly, but making it very clear that your love for them is not going to diminish whatever they do, because your disapproval is for the act that is done, but not them. This is extremely important for self-love to develop. Self-forgiveness. Looking in the environment, they see how you forgive them, how you forgive yourself. If you're beating yourself up for some mistake that you did some years ago, then this is going to be passed on to the child. And forgiving them, it's a new day. Every day is a new day, and you give children a second chance. And this is where self-forgiveness comes from. So self-love, self-forgiveness. Resilience, the power to spring back like an elastic, is very, very important in children. So accepting that a day was bad, like they were angry on one particular day, but giving them some time. See, when will this resilience be seen? When you allow them to actually get to the lowest point, only then it springs back. You cannot cut it out in the middle and say, okay, that's over, now you can't feel that way, or you can't do this. The resilience comes when you allow it to go to its last point that is down, and then it springs up again. So this can be done with verbalizations like, are you done being angry? For instance, when the child is angry, you wait, allow, let the child do whatever it is. Now, when he is going through this anger, it's our job there to encourage and educate him as to the ways that he can show his anger. Not that he should not be angry. How can he express his anger? How can he get done with this anger? And then you ask them, are you done with your anger? And then they come back. So the springing back in action, or say they haven't done well in some performance and then they are very upset about it. Allow them to be upset. There is that time that they need to go down, and then they spring back into action and come up. I'm sure your child has learned what they need to learn. There is no need for us to keep reminding them of that particular day which made them feel so bad. But during that time, the encouragement that is given, just staying with them as they find their own way out of it, that's very important. When you can't fix every problem that your child comes up with, it's important for them to fix their own problems. Then what is our role? Our role is to stay with them while they find solutions. And that is what builds up resilience. The next one is breath awareness. It's very, very important for us to encourage children to do small moments of meditation. And when I say meditation, it's not anything big, just sitting with your eyes open, closed, and just breathing and following that breath going in and out. That's very, very important. So breath awareness could help in mental well-being. The thing is, when you keep on doing it for a long time, it no longer is something that you do, but automatically when you're in that period of weed feelings, you start breathing, and this helps your flower feelings to grow. And that's what our aim is. The last but not the least is the present moment awareness, which is being spoken about so much in today's world, and I think is a very, very important aspect for our children. In our Montessori curriculum, every activity that we do instills this present moment awareness. For example, when a child is transferring beans from one bowl to another, he is so careful about holding the beans, he's sensing it in his hands, and then he's slowly bringing it out. And the steps that we have is what makes it present moment awareness. They are focusing on that every aspect of what they're doing. And if one bead falls off, and then we show them how to pick up that bean very slowly and put it. So every action is broken down into steps, and this makes it present moment awareness. And so just those few moments of just say 2-3 more minutes of them being in that activity has cleared the mind of so many unnecessary thoughts, that is the weed feelings, and therefore flowering feelings start appearing in their mind. This can be focused at home while they are eating, when they are doing anything, and just very important small things like look at the sky, looking at the moon, feeling the air, going out. All these things are present moment awareness, and this helps the child in their mental well-being. As you all may have rightly noticed, a lot of these fertilizers that I spoke about, or the awareness of flowering feelings and weed feelings, are alien even to us as adults. We ourselves have not given it a second thought. So since you are the source, you are that watering hole to which the children come to seek guidance for these areas, it becomes very important that we start working on our own mental well-being. A parent who does not have a particular skill in no way can give it to another. For example, if we are hypersensitive and we don't know how to deal with hypersensitivity, then in no way can we give that skill to our child. So this is just an example, but there can be so many blocks in our own lives that have prevented us from opening up and being the true being that we are. And maybe now is the right time to start looking at that, reflecting it, and actually going through this whole journey of mental well-being, the process of mental well-being with your child, so that we can make it more effective for the child and they can benefit from it. So I really hope that this video has shown you the importance of mental health in our child's development, bringing an awareness of the flowering feelings and the weed feelings, and teaching them how to focus on the flowering feelings, and also using all the fertilizers that we spoke about for the mind soil. You are empowering your children with an invaluable skill of tending to their own mind garden and keep it beautiful. And this will help them have a harmonious and joyful life. Thank you for listening. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time to press the subscribe button so that you can know when our new videos are posted. Please do watch the other videos in the series Being a Montessori Parent. And if you want to know more about Formative Age and the courses that we offer, please do visit www.formativeage.in. Thank you and bye-bye.